In this video, we are going to go over our most recent TMS updates. We will be starting out with a small change under the driver's profile. We have a new checkbox where you can enable or disable the visibility of the settlements within the driver app itself. It will be selected by default, and that will then continue things as they currently are. If you disable it, you will then be hiding those settlements from the driver app specifically for this driver's profile. Our next adjustment will be in regards to a long-awaited feature for the ability to generate negative settlements within the TMS. You are going to be creating your settlements as per usual, so selecting your movements and charges. Here we have an example where a settlement will be negative, and typically we would only be able to download that to get our paper trail, but we will now be able to approve, process it, and save it within the TMS. So we'll go through this example here. As you can see, it has processed that settlement, which will now again be visible under the profile. And you will now have a new charge created that basically lumped together all of those previous charges that were creating the negative to then be used for a future settlement. So as you can see, the description will have that negative settlement ID, and you will be able to keep rolling it over until you can get back to a positive balance. So you are going to then see this obviously on the generate settlement screen, and you will also get those charges there reflected under the driver's profile. As you can see, that $902.50 in this case is created as an additional charge for this specific driver, but the settlements here are going to be still processed. So as you can see, the grand total is negative, and then once you do get back into a positive balance, the negative deduction there will be corresponding to all of those initial expense accounts if you are using the QuickBooks integration, to make sure that those are accounted for correctly when a transfer is done. So you still won't be able to transfer negative settlements themselves into QuickBooks, but if you do get back into a positive state, you will then be able to still make sure that all of those previous charges are going to be associated to the correct expense accounts. Next small change that we have made is an ability to add a driver name to the settlements in those cases where the pay to or their owner's information is differing, and you do want to know which driver these moves and charges are going to be associated with. So as you can see here on this example, we have driver with the driver's name here, which will be corresponding to an additional setting that we have within preferences. If we now go into accounting, you will see an additional checkbox here that says show driver name. So if you have it enabled, it will then show that name there specifically. If not, it will then continue as it previously was. Next change that we have is a new integration that will be tied to Relay. So this is for the fuel aspect of their functionality. As you can see, we have a new provider called Relay, so we're going to need to get your API key, assign it to your company, and we should be able to pull those transactions into the TMS automatically. Keep in mind that Relay does not have those physical cards, so those unique driver identifiers will still have to be input into the TMS as a card itself to make sure that the assignment is going to be correct. And last but not least, we have also made a small change within our Compass integration to now be working via API. So if you are going to be inputting this after our release here, you will see that we will also have an option to input your carrier ID as opposed to limiting to a username and password. So you will then be able to get those transactions in a little bit more of a secure and stable way via the API integration. So we'll just need your carrier ID input in here. You can remove the password and then keep that same associated company that you had. If you have any questions or need any assistance, again, do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you.